Hey there, and welcome to painting Luthor Beardtwizzler, who is a conversion of the Stern Kestrel miniature. The only actual converting done really is giving him a beard. So first up, I'm just going to be blocking in all of the colour on the entire miniature. I'm going to be using metallics in this paint job because I'm having to paint quickly. So this is going to be a case of I think it's going to be a 4-part paint job, including the priming, which is already done, as you can see. And then I'll be doing underpainting, base painting, highlighting, or under/base painting, highlighting, depending on your point of view and how you consider the phases to be going. I mean, base coating. I'm kind of be pseudo base coating while I'm underpainting, but you'll see what I mean in a moment. So first up, I'm just going to block in all of the colour on the entire miniature, and I'll be back in a second. Here we have it then. This is the first layer of paint on Luthor Beardtwizzler, our resident paladin, and he'll be getting redded up. And if you've been watching any of the other videos, you may well know that a lot of the time I've been using warm grey to undercoat red, whereas this time I've been using heavy orange. Tonally it's fairly similar, but it's an orange with a bit of white for opacity, I would say, going by the colour that comes out. So at this point, everything's just simple, blocked in. I've already put in, sorry, I put him on the wrong line. A chevron on his back here, also on his front, although it's hard to see, so that's just yellow ochre. The reason to put it in now is because it's easy to correct. The yellow ochre and the heavy orange are very similar colour. So next up, I'm just going to start introducing tone and depth of colour to this, and that'll be done with a mixture of ink and paint. I'll probably put black ink on all of the plate and chain, and brown ink on gold. I like brown ink on gold. I like knocking gold back. I find gold a bit intense. I find metallics a bit intense actually. Not the best at doing the old chromatic metallic effects though, so I am getting better. We'll live and learn, live and learn. So next up, knocking these colours back and bringing them to the kind of colour range that I want them to be. And as you can see, at the moment it's all just blobbed in, and you may also notice that the face has just been put in it's sienna, which is a dark, slightly pinky brown, and I'm just using this as a base colour so that I'm trying to cover all of the black undercoat basically, so that any shading comes from, or tonal stuff comes from the paint, not from the black. Now if I was painting an army of miniatures for wargaming, I might actually just use the black as the undercoat as such, whereas this is the undercoat on the primer, and it just means that you can remove a stage of painting and you can use the black for shading. But I don't want black shading on these guys. I want them to be a bit neater than that, a bit smarter than that. Although if you do use black like that, you can end up with some very sort of comic book looking, very clean definition miniatures, because the black acts as an outline for things like noses, mouths, cheeks, eyes, etc, etc. So onwards and introducing the colour ranges for him, so that the colour palette will next become the correct colour palette for the job. Here we have Luthor then, and I've done all of the next layers. So all of the silver has been inked black, as well as any black leather. Also, all the gold and brown leather has all been inked with a dark brown ink. The red has been applied so that his tabard is now red, and I've painted a yellow chevron on, and that was pre-painted in yellow ochre, which at the time was virtually identical tonally to the orange, the heavy orange, which I used as the base colour. And now has the chevron itself has had a moon yellow put over the top, just to make it a little bit more yellow. Yellow is a really super weak pigment, by the way, so if you apply it over white it'll come out as sort of a bright yellow, but if you apply it over something like yellow ochre it'll kind of it'll take the mustardy quality of yellow ochre and turn it into sort of a yellowy quality, or edge it slightly more towards the yellowy end of the spectrum. Haven't touched his hair apart from the original colour, and it's because this guy is going to be going up to sort of a browny, blondie, strawberry blonde highlights in brown hair kind of thing. So I'm using this brown essentially as the base colour, and it might have to be second coated before I actually do the hair properly. The other thing I've done is I've introduced the base colour for the skin tone to his face. So that's the base painting / underpainting completed, and next up we'll be moving on to highlights and finishing off. But for the moment that's going to be it. So thank you very much for watching. I hope it's been of some interest and use to you. Have a good one and take care. Bye bye.